Did you know that 69% of managers are uncomfortable communicating with their employees? Or that poor communication costs companies $37 billion every year? These staggering numbers reveal a hidden truth. Even the most capable leaders struggle with effective communication. But here's the good news. Mastering this skill can set you apart and elevate your leadership to new heights. Welcome to Communicating for Impact: 6 Skills Leaders Need to Master. In this video, we'll dive into the crucial communication skills every leader needs. From the art of listening to the power of storytelling, we'll uncover strategies that turn good leaders into great ones. Imagine being able to diffuse conflicts effortlessly, inspire your team with compelling stories, and lead with empathy and clarity. These aren't just skills, they're game changers. Stay tuned as we explore the echoes of influence, where you'll learn how active listening can transform your leadership. Then, we'll navigate through narratives that lead, revealing how storytelling can inspire and mobilize your team. We'll also dive into empathy engines, showing how emotional intelligence fuels stronger connections. And that's just the beginning. Ready to unlock your potential and become a master communicator? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Echoes of Influence: Mastering the Art of Listening. Great leaders know that listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about understanding meanings. Stephen R. Covey famously said, "Most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply." This captures the essence of what makes listening a transformative skill for leaders. Effective listening involves much more than processing information. It's about engagement and showing respect. Consider this. A study by Wright State University found that effective listening contributes to 40% of a leader's job performance. But listening extends beyond just nodding and agreeing. It means interpreting the emotions and underlying messages conveyed by your team. When leaders listen, they empower their teams. They signal that every voice matters, creating an environment where people feel valued and understood. But how can you improve your listening skills? Start with the basics. Maintain eye contact, avoid interruptions, and reflect on what's being said. These simple steps can drastically enhance the quality of your interactions. Another strategy is to ask clarifying questions. This not only shows that you are paying attention but also deepens your understanding of the discussion. Remember, effective listening can diffuse conflicts before they escalate. It allows leaders to grasp the root causes of issues, not just the surface complaints. This proactive approach prevents many workplace misunderstandings and builds a foundation of trust. Chapter 2. Narratives that Navigate: Crafting Stories that Lead. Leadership is as much about storytelling as it is about decision-making. Stories are not just entertainment, they are powerful tools that can shape culture and influence behavior. A well-told story can inspire a team, crystallize goals, and reinforce values. Think about Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech, a masterclass in using narrative to inspire change and action. But what makes a story effective in a leadership context? It starts with authenticity. Authentic stories resonate because they stem from real experiences and genuine emotions. They connect leaders to their teams on a human level. Additionally, effective stories have a clear and compelling structure. A beginning that captures attention, a middle that builds tension, and an end that provides resolution and calls to action. To craft your own impactful stories, focus on relatability. Share challenges you faced and how you overcame them. This approach not only humanizes you as a leader but also provides practical insights and inspiration. Also, consider using vivid, sensory language to bring your stories to life. This makes your message memorable and encourages a stronger emotional connection. Incorporating stories into your communication arsenal can transform your leadership style. It's not just about conveying information but about creating an emotional resonance that motivates and mobilizes your team. Chapter 3. Empathy Engines: Fueling Connections with Emotional Intelligence. Empathy is not just about feeling what others feel, it's about understanding their perspectives and using that insight to guide your actions. This is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence, a skill that Daniel Goleman argues is vital for effective leadership. In fact, Goleman's research highlights that emotional intelligence accounts for nearly 90% of what sets high performers apart from peers with similar technical skills and knowledge. One key strategy to develop empathy is active listening. Yes, it's that important. It ties into 2 chapters. When you actively listen, you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. You're fully present, absorbing not only the words but also the emotions behind them. This can help you connect on a deeper level with your team, which is essential for building trust. Another approach is to practice putting yourself in others' shoes. Regularly ask yourself, how would I feel in this situation? This simple question can shift your perspective and help you respond more compassionately to your team's needs and concerns. Leaders can also benefit from regularly seeking feedback about their empathetic actions. Feedback helps you understand if your intended empathy is being perceived as genuine. Remember, the goal is to connect authentically, not just to check a box. Chapter 4. Clarity in the Storm. Simplifying complex ideas. As a leader, one of your key roles is to distill complex ideas into clear, actionable insights. Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." This is especially true in leadership, where clarity can mean the difference between a team that's confident and one that's confused. Start by identifying the core message you need to communicate. What is the one thing you want your team to understand? From there, break down the information into smaller, manageable parts. This helps prevent information overload and ensures that your team can follow along and stay engaged. Use analogies and metaphors to make complex ideas more relatable. For instance, if you're explaining a multi-step process, compare it to something familiar, like cooking a meal or assembling a piece of furniture. This not only makes the information more digestible but also more memorable. Finally, always encourage questions. A culture where questions are welcomed is a culture where misunderstandings are quickly cleared up. This not only improves clarity but also fosters an environment of continuous learning and improvement. Chapter 5. Feedback Frontiers. The Constructive Convergence. Feedback is a tool, not a weapon. Effective leaders know that the way they provide feedback can significantly influence their team's performance and morale. According to a Gallup poll, employees who receive regular feedback feel more engaged and are less likely to quit. But there's a right way and a wrong way to give feedback. Start with the sandwich approach. Positive feedback, followed by constructive criticism, and capped with positive reinforcement. This method helps ensure the feedback is balanced and received in a spirit of improvement rather than criticism. For instance, you might commend an employee on their thorough research but suggest ways to present their findings more effectively, and then finish by encouraging their continued input and creativity. Another effective strategy is to make feedback a regular part of your routine. Don't wait for annual reviews. Regular feedback makes it part of the normal workflow, reducing anxiety and promoting a continuous improvement mindset. When giving feedback, be specific. Vague comments can lead to confusion and uncertainty. Instead of saying, "Good job," specify what exactly was good. This clarity not only makes the feedback more useful but also highlights that you are paying attention to their efforts. Chapter 6. Digital Diplomacy. Commanding Virtual Spaces. With more teams working remotely, leaders must adapt their communication strategies to the digital environment. A study from Buffer states that 99% of people would like to work remotely at least some of the time for the rest of their careers. This makes mastering virtual communication an essential skill for modern leaders. Start by ensuring you have the right tools. Whether it's Zoom, Slack, or Microsoft Teams, being proficient with these tools can enhance your ability to communicate effectively. Make sure your audio and video equipment is high quality. Poor sound and video can significantly detract from your message. Engagement is another challenge in the digital realm. To keep your team engaged, incorporate visual aids, like slides or videos, into your meetings. These can help maintain focus and make the information more memorable. Also, use features like polls or chat functions to encourage interaction. Lastly, be mindful of video conference fatigue. Keep meetings concise and to the point. Encourage short breaks during longer sessions to keep everyone fresh and attentive. And whenever possible, turn on your camera. It personalizes the conversation and helps maintain a connection with your team.